Hello. As you can see pretty clearly from the title of this video, I have done something. I've left my job at Urban Jungle, and I just wanted to come in here to talk about it and be completely transparent because quite literally there's nothing to hide. There's nothing bad going on behind the scenes, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody heard it from me instead of somebody else or has the option to hear it from me. And it's not even that big of a deal, really. I just wanted to make sure that I addressed it since I know it's something I talk about a lot here on YouTube. Anytime you've heard me say that plant store I work at, I'm referring to my job, or what was my job. So I just feel like it's necessary to just kind of briefly talk about it. And to make it even briefer, if you don't feel like watching this video, you can just know, summarized, that it was just time for me to go. But if that's not good enough for you, I have a lot more to say, don't you worry. That's why I do YouTube. You sit me down in front of this camera and I can talk for like 20 minutes. So, what's going on? Just to give you a little bit of a backstory, I've been working at Urban Jungle in Philadelphia. It's located in South Philadelphia for over 2 years now, and I very quickly became their indoor plant buyer when I first started. And it was quite literally a dream job for me when I first started. I barely had my foot in the door in this industry, and it was something that I had been wanting to do for a couple of years at that point. So it's something that I'm very, very proud to have done. It's an integral part of my story, and I absolutely loved everything about my job. It was just time for me to go. Like I said, I'll embellish more on that. But why did I go? There were so many reasons why I left my job. I was sitting down when I was thinking about this, making a list of why I should leave and why I should stay. And admittedly, the list as to why I should leave was much larger as to why I should stay. And it's very important to take care of yourself. Everybody knows that you matter the most. So I just had to do something for me and take that step because I felt it was necessary. So what are some of the reasons why I decided to leave? I'll give you guys a couple. First and foremost, financially, it really wasn't working out. I barely worked at the store as is because YouTube is my main job. I consider that my full-time job, and working at Urban Jungle was my part-time job. I barely worked there. I would rarely stack up more than 10 or 12 hours a week, and I was paid hourly, so it really just didn't cut it. It wasn't worth it. I was putting my time into someone's business when I could have been bettering my own, which is step number two, not step two, but number two is really just that. I feel like I should be using that time that I was putting into making someone else's business flourish into my own business, because this is my business, this is my entity, and this is what I care most about. So if I have the means to be my own boss and, the world's my oyster, I can do this. So I'm very excited to take this step and move on from, like I said, bettering someone else's business, and really I'm going to use this time to work on my own, and I'm very excited about that, and I'm very proud of it. Lastly, which is a very big weigher on why I left, is one of my coworkers actually just moved, and it's not just a random coworker. It wasn't just like a friend of mine. This was my counterpart, my partner in Urban Jungle at the business. Her name was Sue. If you've come to the store, as many of you have, you might have met her. She's a wonderful woman, and she's actually the person who got me hired 2 years ago. And me and her turned that store around. I'm just like going back in time to just over 2 years ago when I started working. I came in on my first day to a sea of dying spider mite infested cordyceps and dieffenbachias and nothing that was worth anybody's time. Not to be rude to dieffenbachias and cordyceps, but there was nothing there. It was a very decrepit looking store, and it was, it had a lot of potential. It had so much potential. So me and Sue turned that store around in these last 2 years. It's gone from not on anybody's radar. Before I started working there, would never recommend Urban Jungle to anybody when they wanted to buy plants. I thought it was overpriced. I thought it was just didn't have a good selection. Everything was covered in spider webs. So it wasn't what I recommended. So when I got hired there, it was the mission of mine and Sue's to turn the store around because it just had so much potential, as I'm saying. So I'm so proud to have turned that store around into what it is now. And I do feel very confident that they're at a space now where they don't really need me or Sue anymore. However, I do want to come on here as well to make it clear that because me and Sue are gone, we've left the company, that it's in new hands. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying that I'm no longer a representative of Urban Jungle's brand in the same way that Urban Jungle no longer I cannot say this. Urban Jungle no longer represents me as a brand. So we're cut ties for no bad reasons other than the fact that I just want to focus on my own business and I don't have the time to focus on theirs. So they're going to do it themselves. I'm going to do my thing themselves. So we're no longer affiliated with each other. Not to be rude, like I said, no bridges burned. I'm still very close with everybody who works there. I have very close ties with this company. If I need something, I'm going to go to Urban Jungle to buy it because that's where I'm used to going. I know they have good stuff at this point, and I know what I'm getting, and I know it's good people. So yeah, I just want to be clear that there's really nothing bad involved. It's just time. It's just time for me to take this step and focus on my own things, which is sad because, like I said, I love my job, and I'm sure if some things were different, I would be staying there, but it's time. Everything was adding up, and it was just time for me to go. I know I didn't spend the longest time at that business. Many people spend longer than 2 years at their dream job, but I think I'm ready to move on to focusing on this, which I'm very excited about. And I do need to say thank you guys so incredibly much because this isn't because of me. I just sit down and I film the videos and I talk to the camera. You guys are what makes all of this possible for me. So I have to say wholeheartedly thank you so much. I would be nothing without you, and I'm so incredibly grateful to be able to do what I do. I think it's so funny that I even do YouTube because never in my adult life have I ever strived to be a YouTuber. I am terrified of public speaking, if you can't tell. Sometimes I seem a little nervous, and it's just not my temperament. Really, it's not my temperament. I started doing YouTube 3 years ago, over 3 years ago now. I think that it was 3 years ago in September, which is wonderful. I started doing this because I had a passion and I was working at a dead-end job, and I didn't think I was going anywhere, and I did not have a foot in this industry at all. There was no plant corner of social media at that time, so I just decided it would be kind of fun to sit down and start making videos. And I really didn't even take it that seriously. Well, you know, you should never take yourself too seriously, but I didn't take it too seriously until a couple years in. I didn't even buy all this equipment until this year, 2020, because I just didn't really think, honestly, that it would become anything. So, once again, I have to say thank you guys so much. I'm so grateful. I never thought I would be doing this, but I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from doing YouTube. I've learned so much. I think the most important thing that I've learned from doing YouTube is confidence. I've never felt confidence before, and I swear it's all because of doing this. Working at Urban Jungle has nothing to do with feeling confidence. And I was a young gay boy. I came out when I was in my early teens, and I was always so terrified of standing out for the wrong reasons. Like, I can feel that, like, fear right now. But I feel so confident that I'm standing out for the right reasons now, and I have to say thank you guys so much, because I'm, like, tearing up right now thinking about this, because I'm so grateful. I'm seriously so grateful. I've also learned from doing YouTube, as I've kind of touched on, I've learned more from witnessing my peers here in the plant community, not to take yourself too seriously. And I think just those go so hand in hand, being confident but not taking yourself too seriously. I think that's so important. I'm so thankful for everything I've learned from here on YouTube. I'm even more thankful for everything I've learned at Urban Jungle. Like I said, it's a very iconic part of my story, and it's always going to be. I'm always going to have worked at Urban Jungle. It's never not going to be a part of me. But it's time. It's time that I move on. I'm so excited to focus on this. I'm excited to focus on you guys. I'm excited to have more time for this. I'm thrilled. I'm so excited to see where things go. So once again, thank you guys so much. I hope you all understand why I left my job. I know some of you like to come visit me there, and I'm sorry that I'm not going to be there anymore, but it's just time. I can't say any more than that. You guys should play the drinking game where you go back and drink every time I said it's time, but I'm so excited to see what the future has to hold. So once again, thank you guys so much. We're going to leave it there. If you don't already, follow me on Instagram at Philly Foliage, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Have a great day.